Hi, Mr. Syed. How are you?
Hello, I'm
How
good,
are you
thank you.
doing? All is
I'm
well. How are
good.
you doing today? How's your day going so far?
It's been a little crazy, few meetings and all, but so far so good. It's a bright sunny day here. I mean,
Excellent.
still, yeah,
Lots of energy. Thank you for
yeah.
your time and thank you for taking time to be with us on the summit. I'm going to leave the floor to you. You're going to be doing a presentation or a speech on digital transformation in Pakistan. Are you going to present anything? If yes, you need to share your screen.
Can you see my screen now?
Perfect. I'll leave the floor open to you, Mr. Syed, and good luck.
Thank you. So at DPL, we are a flat organization and we have been following we have actually implemented Agile transformation since 2012. And we have perfected a model that we call innovation as a service. And I'll be speaking from those experiences and sharing some of my from there with the audience. So transform or die, this expression has never been so relevant than now in COVID. And we see the companies like Microsoft and Amazon who transformed a few years ago. Like, for example, they moved to cloud, they moved to mobile, even cannibalizing some of their own businesses. But we see companies like those that transform are really the big winners in today's world and in the coming future as well. And on the other hand, we are also looking at a lot of large corporate companies that are going bankrupt. Um, Someone rightly said it's not the strongest who survive, but it's the one who adapts to the change. So change we must, and most of the industries, even in Pakistan, we see are trying to change. They're scrambling because they did not transform before. And some of the sectors are hugely hit by that. For example, the education sector, the retail sector, they're all trying to move online. They're all trying to digitalize. But the way they're approaching this is not from a direction of transformation. They are merely trying to digitalize their businesses. What that effectively means is that they are just taking their existing business models, adding a software layer on top of that, and going online to deliver the same service. For example, schools used to deliver worksheets, printed worksheets in the classroom. Now they are scanning those worksheets, sending to the students through
आप
WhatsApp
कनेक्ट होगी
or sending it over from the Google Classroom. Similarly, they used to deliver
बस एक ही चीज़ है कि आप
lecture
जूम
from
पर आ
the
जाए
video
जूम पर
conference,
इंटरनेट
sorry, a
बहुत ज़्यादा
lecture
यूज़
in the
करता है
live classroom,
तो
but now
यूट्यूब वगैरह पे पूरा अच्छा है
they have switched that with the.
Apologies,
तो
apologies,
कैसे
Mr.
जा रहा
Syed.
है आपका
Mr. Ghulam,
एक्सपीरियंस
please put your microphone on mute.
Thank you very much. So, and similarly, they used to deliver the lectures in the classroom face to face, and they have just shifted to a video conferencing solution to deliver a lecture online. But the students are not really getting the kind of education or engagement out of this new online experience, and the parents are not really feeling that they're getting the same amount of value like they used to get in the school. And instead of looking at a new way of transforming their businesses, looking at new business models that and the opportunities that could come. For example, now that a lot of parents can't pay the same amount of fees due to their economic conditions, and they're looking to do some homeschooling and all. A lot of schools could actually look at new business models like supporting the homeschooling system, maybe reducing some of the fees and increasing the cohort sizes, which can easily be done in digital. But right now they're not thinking differently. Similarly, you see on the retail sectors, people are just adding websites on top of their shops instead of thinking that we are now in a new digital world and that may need new kind of revenue streams. And that's the key problem. Even in the biggest problem in Pakistan, we don't really have a lot of success stories when it comes to digital transformation yet. We do have a lot of digitalization efforts happening. And these kind of things have been happening since last 20, 30 years. But it's important to understand the key difference. The digitalization comes from standardization. For example, you go and you buy an off-the-shelf software. It could be an ERP, it could be a CRM, it could be, in case of a school, a learning management system, and you just buy that and implement that on top of your existing business. And since those same software are implemented across thousands of other businesses as well, so they bring best market practices to your business, which means you are operating as a standardized business like everyone else. But in today's world, it's not enough to be standardized. You want to innovate. You want to be different from the others. So digital transformation does not focus on standardization, but on innovation. How can you be different? How can you leverage your unique positioning to get ahead of the rest of the businesses? So the approach is innovation, not standardization. Similarly, in digitalization, because you are adding just a software layer on top of your existing business, that's why technology is just seen as a cost center. Hence, a lot of investments are very kind of conservative. Whereas in digital transformation, it's not a cost center, it's a revenue generation. You come up with new revenue streams. And similarly, digitalization efforts mostly focus inwards. It has a departmental focus. For example, if you have a finance department, then you look towards automating end-to-end finance system. Similarly, if you're a marketing or sales department, you would look to deploy a CRM and kind of have your own kind of end-to-end automation. But it's a very inward focus. How can you optimize your operations? Whereas the digital transformation focus is outwards. It's a customer focus. How can you improve customer experience and its touch points, and as a result, increase your revenues or cut the cost? So the customer focus is very important in digital transformation versus digitalization. Similarly, digitalization is very process centric. That's why it really fits very well on existing businesses. In fact, on top of already process heavy environment, they bring in a lot more processes to follow. Whereas digital transformation relies on making the best out of your people. I mean, giving them the liberty to see the new opportunities and innovate and do something new. So digitalization model is very digitalization model is very simple.
Mr. Faisal, can you please put your Zoom on mute? Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Generally, digitalization model is very simple. You have an IT function in a corporate company, and they primarily specialize in procuring IT solutions and then deploying and rolling it out. Whereas if you want to innovate, then this kind of a digital transformation model is mostly what is followed globally. And at the heart of this digital transformation model, you see is at the center of it is agile methodologies and a people-centric culture. It's the same kind of innovation thinking that you see is followed in Silicon Valley. And it's because of the success of those Silicon Valley companies in innovation that the likes of McKinsey's and IBM's, they kind of introduce these agile methods in the corporate world. So, so using these innovation thinking methods, you then focus on the customer. On the top, you see the customer journey. You focus on how we can increase customer experience and as a result add revenue. For example, if you're a bank, then you'll think, how can I increase my new account openings by 20% or 50%? So new account. So then you don't look inwards. You look at how we can deliver this customer experience, and all your departments, the cross-functional business teams, then work together instead of silos, and they focus on delivering that customer journey. Everyone works towards that customer-centric approach. How can we increase the customer experience of opening a new bank account? And you do this not just the way by adding software on top of your existing process. You have new kind of technologies that were never there before, like AI, robotic process automation, IoT, and others. And using these technologies, you can probably cut down your entire process into just a few steps. Maybe you can cut down a 1 week worth of process into just a couple of hours. So these new technologies that make it possible, these are called Industry 4.0 technologies, and these are used to deliver the digital transformation experience. And because a lot of corporate companies don't have such deep technology capabilities and they're not agile, so their workforce does not have those capabilities. That's why generally, and you can't procure these kind of capabilities in a cost competitive process. So that's why a lot of global companies, they tend to partner with a technology partner company that is expert in agile methodologies and in the deep tech industry 4.0 technologies, or they bring in some very known industry veterans who can kind of bring those things into your corporate company. So the challenge, the reason why a lot of companies fail, the challenge in Pakistan that they fail, they see, a lot of corporate companies believe that the desi environment we have is not suited for flat organizations like they have in Silicon Valleys. They believe that there's a corporate belief system around processes, and these processes are there because they feel that people make mistakes, they are unreliable, and they cannot be trusted. And it's because of that kind of process-centric mindset that they are not ready to be people-centric companies. They're not ready for a mindset change and for agile transformation. And that's the biggest challenge I see. And it's not just in Pakistan. Of course, in Pakistan, our society is hierarchical and essentially not flat, and it's a bigger problem for us. But globally, if you look at a McKinsey study from 2016, the number one reason why companies failed in their digital transformation effort was because of the cultural and behavioral challenges they were facing. Of course, there were technology challenges as well, but the number one was the cultural challenge. And what do we need to embrace digital transformation? We need to move from a corporate culture and move towards more leaner agile culture. And the difference is that corporate culture, because you are focused on optimizing existing revenue streams, you are risk averse, you don't want to disturb those revenue streams, you're process centric, you don't tolerate mistakes. It's very hierarchical. Communications have protocols, communications have control team, and that's why the decision making is slow and it's very bureaucratic. And there's a certain kind of talent that is attracted to such kind of culture. When in agile organizations, you see it encourages, because you're focused on innovation and revenue generation, new revenue generation. Calculated risk-taking mindset is encouraged. It's people-centric. Failures are acceptable if you learn from it, and communications are open and fast decision-making happens. And because of that culture, you are also able to attract the kind of technology talent that is needed for innovation. And a lot of companies tend to say that we are digitally transforming. Everyone just talks about digital transformation. I believe that you're not digitally transforming unless your entire organization is transforming around that. It's not just IT functions. So for example, unless your HR function is transformed and it moves from a more strong control and policy enforcement position to more of a coaching and supporting role, unless your organization is flattened and it reduces a couple of tiers in its hierarchy and it works more leaner, your IT procurement, other processes like compliance, risk, governance models are leaner, and they're changed to adopt this new way of working. And the company mindset and culture, unless it is transformed, led directly by the CEO, I don't believe we can go anywhere near digital transformation. We would merely be applying a software layer on top of what we are already doing. So I think this model that I talked about gives a very kind of a soft landing towards this radical change. It offers you a model where you can incubate that kind of a culture and working model within your company, and you can create this, what you can call a digital lab or an innovation lab, or you call it by different names. But basically, you create that, you seed that culture within your company, and then let it grow from there within your company. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let me get back on camera. Okay, I have some questions here for you. Can we see you instead of the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, very good. One of the questions, how to switch from finance to digital finance? What skills and traits are required for digital transformation?
So I think first of all, there are some basics. Of course, digital is many things. So you need to have data transformed. You need to have access to all those. So you may already have that kind of digital capabilities within your company, or you may not have. That's the foundation of that. But beyond that, what you really need to understand is, I think you need to relearn what digital transformation means. That means you may need to unlearn what you have already learned during your education about how the innovation works, how new ideas come into an organization and all. That means you may even want to get your hands dirty in the coding as well. I remember General Electric, they made it mandatory even for their C-level executives to learn how to code, because that the coding the process that kind of gives you an idea how to think. And I think it's important to get to do that, to learn just the basics of that. And then from there, I think it's more about creating a different kind of culture. So learn about people-centric companies and how they are very different from a process-centric company. And then there's a transition from process-centric to a people-centric that includes your own behavior and mindset and how you can teach others to do that in your organization.
Another question we have on YouTube. What do you think about readiness of executives to accept it in Pakistan?
I think we have a long way to go. We have focused, for example, Agile digital transformation is still seen as something that IT people are supposed to be doing, or at best marketing people. The executives do not understand the business opportunity presented by digital transformation and how the future is all about this. You just look at Nokia versus Apple. And executives are not ready for that. I think, again, as I said, either a younger generation will replace the kind of executives we have right now, who will understand it natively, what digital is, and they will bring that change. Or otherwise, some smarter CEOs who are more progressive, they will probably learn from other countries and other success stories and kind of go back to school, learn about, change their own mindset first, because it's led by the CEO level. So I think C-level needs help right now, either through coaching or through self-learning, but that's the need of the time. And right now, during COVID is the best time to learn anything, I think.
Exactly. I have one more question here. How can we overcome the technology integration challenge in digital transformation? And let's make it short and straightforward to the point.
Well, again, you need a technology capability. As I said, you can bring in a technology partner who is already good with that. In my model, you see a technology partner. So you need to have an agile technology partner who is good with the new next generation technologies.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Syed, for your time, and thank you for being with us on the second and last day, and for your amazing presentation and insights. And anyone who wants to get in touch with you, please, if you can share your LinkedIn reference on the chat. And Mr. Ghulam, is there anything you want to say? I think he muted the sound.
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Ghulam.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I want to say thanks to Mr. Ahmad. Honestly, it was a wonderful presentation. Personally, I'm a digital transformation consultant, but I knew lots of things which you discussed. I didn't know the lots of things which you discussed today. So it was very much enlightening, full of experience, full of learning for me. So I want to say thanks to you. I wish if we could present this presentation yesterday as the opening keynote, so that it could set the tone for whole summit. Zinia, what do you say? Because it's covering everything. The culture.
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said I wish we could have this presentation yesterday as the opening keynote.
Yeah, it's true.
Because,
it's very true.
Because it's covering everything. In this summit, we are mainly focusing four main areas, like the customer experience, digital leadership readiness, operational excellence, and then the digital governance and culture and customer experience. So now I think this presentation which you shared was making the complete foundation for everything. So I wish we could have it.
I hope everyone learned from it, from whoever is watching on YouTube also. Ghulam, you're gone on silent also. I don't know why. Okay. Mr. Syed, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And best of luck with everything that you're doing, and have an amazing day and weekend ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Anytime, my dear.